Hello, my name is Paul Woodfall. I'm a teacher trainer at Oxford University Press. In this session, we're looking at listening for primary using classroom presentation tools, and you can find these on the Oxford Learners bookshelf. I'm now going to sign in to my Oxford Learners bookshelf, which is a desktop application. I'm not using the browser, I'm using my desktop application. I sign in. And when I've signed in, I will choose the book that I will feature listening exercise from. The book I'm going to be using, in this case, it's Oxford Discover, Level 2. Open the book, and we come to the cover page. I have already bookmarked my pages of listening, but just to show you what a bookmark is, I go to bookmark on the left-hand side, I click the bookmark, and there we have it. To check my bookmarks, I go to Tile View, Bookmark, and you can see I've got the bookmarked cover page and my listening pages, which are related to the big question, how are things different from long ago? So we're looking at now and then, and we're looking at specifically some vocabulary that has already been used in the unit about travel, communication, messaging, email, internet. And we come to the exercise at hand with more vocabulary, looking at cable cars. We think of San Francisco. Not many other countries in the world do I know of a cable car, but I'm sure there are. Cable cars, motorcycles, trucks, buses, horses, boats. So here we have the vocabulary, and we would, of course, need to go through these exercises to pre-teach, listen and point to the words, say the words, use the words in context, check their meaning. A lot of people can travel on these at the same time. Bus, not a horse. Let's see what the answer key gives us. A boat and a cable car, of course. Only one or two people can travel on a horse, a truck, or a motorcycle. Okay, so moving on to the listening itself. You can see there's a quick question here about cable cars. Are there any cable cars in your town? Bit of thinking, and then a listening activity where we're listening for specific information while grandma is talking to her granddaughter, and they're looking at who has a new motorcycle. We can
Page 54. Communicate. Listening. See. Listen. Who has a new motorcycle?
And remember, we can play this at normal speed, or we can play it at slower speed to encourage our listeners who may not be as proficient. Let's put it on slow.
Look, they're delivering a lot of fruit and vegetables to the supermarket in that big truck.
There we go. Normal speed.
We didn't have trucks when I was a little girl.
What did you have then?
Well, farmers delivered their fruit and vegetables to markets by horse and cart.
Or fast.
Really? I didn't know that. How did you go to school, Grandma?
Well, we didn't go to school by bus back then. There weren't any buses. We traveled to school in cable cars. It was slow, but it was fun.
So the idea is that we might, depending on the group we have, we might begin at slow speed. We might then do a second listen at normal speed. And at the very end, we might summarize everything with a fast speed recording, just to give children a little bit of incentive with coping with the nuances of authentic speech. There is an exercise we would definitely do here about ordering the words you hear in context.
D. Listen again and number the words in the order you hear them.
So the first word we hear is
Look,
truck.
they're delivering a lot of fruit and vegetables to the supermarket in that big truck.
And we would, before doing this listening at normal speed, we would, of course, ask the kids to predict. Do they remember? What is the next item they hear? And some of the children will probably say horse and cart, in which case you might then put in horse and cart. Next, what did you hear? Oh, I think it wasn't cable car, no, maybe it was bus. Let's see. Let's try for bus here, etc. So you would go with eliciting their answers, and you would put in their ideas. We would then listen.
We didn't have trucks when I was a little girl.
What did you have then?
Well, farmers delivered their fruit and vegetables to markets by horse and cart.
And there we have number 2, we have that as correct. And of course, we can check our answers already by clicking on the check button up here, and number 2 and number 3 are correct. Moving on, we can check all the answers with the answer key in the middle there. To delete all the answers, we want to go to the dustbin icon, delete everything, click OK, and clear the answer key. So there we have it. If we want to do further vocabulary work from the listening, we can go to switch to the workbook, and again, using our focus tools, we can do some more work with the vocabulary from the listening, as well as word puzzles, which the book has. So when doing listenings, we want to make sure that our students are able to understand the key items in the pre-listening section, that we have glossed sufficiently, not only the vocabulary, but also we've looked at the schemata, we've looked at what the topic is about. In this case, it's in the middle of the unit, which is already introducing the idea of then and now, the past and the present. And we've talked about grandma with her granddaughter. Then while listening, we want to ask students to respond to a certain amount in a live session, but also we want to think about them being able to listen to this recorded session again and again. If you're using Zoom, you can do exactly what I've done and record the audio. If they don't have an ebook, if they only have the paper book, then they can listen to the audio. And by you recording your synchronous session, they will have that listening to refer to again and again. Then offline, what kind of post-listening tasks? Well, post-listening tasks that we can do, of course, is to get the children, in this particular case, to ask their parents and their grandparents, anybody in their family, about differences between when their grandparents were their age. So imagine you have a child who's 8 and asking his or her grandparent to talk about when they were 8. What was there? What did they do? And how did they travel? How did they communicate? Get the kids to prepare for this discussion offline by making notes in their notebook, perhaps posting on a discussion forum, before finally having a synchronous discussion with you and the class to talk about the issues. For more ideas about teaching at home, please go to www.oup.com/ELT/learn at home. I hope you found these useful. Please stay well. Bye-bye for now.